Last week I came across something while reading about digital health that I probably wouldn't have encountered even a year ago. During user research with teenagers about their digital habits, one 14-year-old mentioned that she spent hours every night chatting with AI characters on character.ai. Not playing games, not watching videos, just talking about her day, her problems, her feelings. She described forming what she called relationships with these chatbots. As someone who designs gamified health apps for a living, I've watched people develop surprisingly deep connections with digital systems that offer very little real value. But hearing a teenager casually describe turning to AI for emotional support made it clear that we're approaching a moment where millions of people will willingly pay for therapeutic experiences that may not actually work. And honestly, that might not be entirely bad. One obvious reason is the therapist shortage. There simply aren't enough professionals. As of March 2023, around 160 million Americans live in areas with mental health professional shortages, with more than 8,000 additional professionals needed to meet basic demand. In rural areas, the situation is even worse. Some counties have no mental health professionals at all. At the same time, traditional therapy comes with friction. You need to research providers, check insurance coverage, make phone calls during business hours, wait weeks for appointments, then show up at a specific place and time to talk to a stranger about your most personal struggles. AI therapy removes nearly all of these barriers. No insurance paperwork, no scheduling, no commuting, no waiting rooms. You open the app and you start talking. There's also something interesting that consistently appears in user research. People say they care deeply about privacy in health apps, yet their behavior tells a more complicated story. When users with chronic illnesses are surveyed, social features rank last in terms of motivation. Healthcare is seen as private and personal, yet those same users are often willing to share extremely intimate details with chatbots and AI systems. The difference comes down to control and anonymity. With an AI therapist, there's no human judging a late-night breakdown or remembering something embarrassing from a previous session. You're talking to a system, not a person you might run into later. That sense of psychological safety creates what could be called digital vulnerability. People open up to AI in ways they struggle to do face-to-face. Even while knowing the system doesn't truly understand them, it's easy to think of AI therapists as simple decision engines, but that's only part of the picture. They also provide systems, progress tracking, streaks, achievements, mood visualizations. Traditional therapy can offer insight and healing, but it rarely provides a clear sense of daily progress. Many therapeutic tools still rely on journaling or manual logs, which are naturally suited to gamification. People crave immediate feedback. They want to see their happiness score rise or their anxiety trend downward, even if the numbers themselves are imperfect. AI therapy delivers exactly that. Every conversation becomes data. Every session feeds into a personal mental health journey. The app highlights small wins and tracks change in ways that human therapists, bound by professional limits, simply can't. This scratches a psychological itch that traditional therapy often misses. Users feel productive. They feel like they're actively doing something for their mental health, not just talking about problems. The most powerful aspect of AI therapy may be the simplest one. It responds immediately, consistently, without judgment or fatigue. For people who've never had access to mental health care, having something that listens and responds thoughtfully, even artificially, can provide real relief. The validation feels genuine, even when the intelligence behind it isn't. In mental health app research, users often form attachments to systems that are little more than mood trackers, paired with encouraging messages. They describe these tools as understanding them, or making them feel heard. The value doesn't come from clinical expertise, but from steady, non-judgmental interaction. The scale of this is striking. A popular AI chatbot named Psychologist has received more than 78 million messages from students and users worldwide seeking mental health advice, alongside hundreds of similar chatbots acting as digital therapists on character.ai. Cost also plays a major role. Traditional therapy can range from $100 to $300 per session. Even with insurance, copays add up quickly. AI therapy often costs between $10 and $50 per month for unlimited access. When someone is dealing with anxiety or depression, the choice feels obvious: a few sessions a year, or constant access to something that might help, even a little. The economics become more compelling when opportunity cost is considered. If AI therapy prevents a single emergency room visit, a missed workday, or a relationship breakdown, it has effectively paid for itself, regardless of clinical outcomes. This doesn't mean AI therapy is equivalent to human care. Research on long-term clinical effectiveness remains limited, and serious mental health conditions still require trained professionals. But understanding why people choose AI therapy highlights what traditional therapy often lacks: accessibility, immediate feedback, consistent availability, user control. Future therapeutic systems will likely blend human expertise with AI accessibility. That could mean AI-based screening that connects people to therapists, AI-supported exercises between sessions, or AI offering support when a therapist isn't available. Does AI therapy work? Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. The more important question is why people want it to work so badly. Designing better mental health systems requires addressing not only clinical effectiveness, but also the psychological and practical barriers that make AI therapy appealing despite its limits. In research on ethical gamification, one framework evaluates whether users feel empowered, whether systems are transparent, whether experiences are holistic, whether motivation is intrinsic, and whether interfaces are customizable. AI therapy succeeds because it naturally meets several of these criteria. Users feel empowered by controlling when and how they engage. The interaction feels transparent, with no hidden human judgment. The experience can be holistic, available whenever it's needed rather than confined to short sessions. Most importantly, AI therapy taps into intrinsic motivation. Users aren't seeking approval from a therapist. They're trying to understand themselves and feel better. The AI becomes a tool for reflection, not an authority figure. Where AI therapy still falls short is customization. Many systems rely on generic responses rather than adapting to individual communication styles, cultural contexts, or specific mental health needs. This remains a major limitation. The teenager from that research session eventually began speaking with her school counselor, but she still talks with her AI characters. They became a bridge to understanding her own emotions and patterns. It helped me realize I actually had things to talk about, she said later. Before Character.ai, I thought my problems weren't real. That may be the real value, not replacing human connection, but guiding people toward it. Not providing treatment, but offering a space to practice vulnerability and recognize the need for support. People will pay for AI therapists that don't work because sometimes the act of seeking help matters more than the help itself. In a world where mental health resources remain limited and stigmatized, that can be enough to begin. The future of mental health technology isn't about replacing human therapists. It's about building systems that make support more accessible, immediate, and engaging, while preserving the human connection that genuine healing requires. AI therapy may not be the answer, but it shows us something important. How many people are still searching for a place to speak freely, to feel understood, and to believe that their struggles matter?